So I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia, with Nate, who is the co-writer of New Mutants with me and my best friend. We've known each other since the day we were born, and we grew up reading Marvel comics religiously. Uh, we were very much attracted to the New Mutants, which is kind of right from the era in the '80s when we were really reading comics religiously. Uh, it was really Bill Sienkiewicz's artwork. It's like I had never seen comics that looked like his before they pushed the medium and what you came to expect. It's like when you see a comic book, they all look kind of the same. I mean, they're varying degrees of great art, but like he really pushed the medium in an artistic way. He pushed the frames of the comics. He pushed what you could do with the page of a comic book panel. And he really injected it with a lot of darkness and a lot of moodiness. And the kids didn't wear costumes. It felt like something different. I always remembered it and hung on to it. And once I had made The Fault in Our Stars for Fox and it was a success, Nate and I made them a comic book and brought it to them and basically said, please let us develop this and try to turn it into a movie. And they were nice enough to say yes.
I play Brain Sinclair, and she, her mutant power, her name is Wolfsbane, and she has the ability to shapeshift into like a werewolf, and then she can also go full wolf. And so I guess her power is to have like super heightened senses, and she can see really well in the dark and hear things that are super far away and smell everything.
I play Danny Moonstar, and my power is to make people's deepest fears come to life. And it can like really physically hurt you, it can kill you. Yeah, it's a Mirage, which is my superhero name, Mirage.
I play Dr. Cecilia Reyes. She's the person taking care of this medical facility that has these new mutants. And she is a mutant herself. She can put force fields around her and around people. And she's someone that has a plan for these kids and is just trying to guide them through understanding their powers.
I've always been a fan of, I guess I'd say teen films or films that were coming of age films about kids growing up since I was that age. And when I was that age, I felt as awkward and out of sorts as any other kid does. And I think that's sort of that's a universal feeling that happens no matter what era that you live in or where you live. I think you experience all these sort of universal feelings. Capturing those and trying to capture a little bit of how I felt, how the teen movies that I loved made me feel growing up, like Say Anything and John Hughes's films and just movies like that are movies that I certainly loved. They were friends to me when I was a kid. So we tried to make a movie that would hopefully be friends to kids going through the same issues that we went through and the same issues that I imagine most kids go through.
I think the thing is, if you're lucky enough to be of a certain age, every person has been through teenagedom. Every person can draw on something that connects us all. Teenagers today, they've got social media, which, I think I was born in '96, so I was around when it was like coming up, but I think that must be really, really stressful nowadays.
We've talked about this so much today, but it's the growing pains of getting the pressures heightened and being expected so much, and you know so little, and you have your body changing, and you're exponentially having to mature really quickly. So people from all over the world can relate to that if you're of a certain age, for sure.
X-Men and the Mutants has always done a great job of kind of looking at social issues and yeah, it's the same with this really. It's the idea of being different and feeling like you're an outcast, when you're not. And I think, when you're a teenager, you do essentially feel different to everyone around you, or you can feel different to everyone around you. You're not alone, and that's kind of the message of the movie: is you're not alone, and as a teenager, you're not, alone.
It's hunting us.
No, it's hunting Danny.
Why, Danny?
Because that's what she fears. Come on, help me.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Take Danny to a safe place.
and I'll take care of this bear.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to play with it. Get her out of here.
Are you crazy? That thing will kill you.
He's right, it's magic.
So am I.
No, Ellie.
The biggest thing that stood out to me was with Rain is how much she doesn't say. And so there's a lot with her that is internalized. And so that can be quite a difficult thing to do when you are in a room full of actors and all of you are playing these characters and you're trying to, you know, be a prominent player and you have nothing to say. And so I think that gives you a lot of space to just internalize a lot. And as an actor, I think I definitely learned a lot about myself in trying to discover the person within me who doesn't speak at any given moment and who does keep a lot of things like within her own head. And I think a lot of people are going to really relate to that.
Danny's like she's like soft spoken, but she's tough. So she's like, I think she's like an in-between of Anya and Maisie's character, where she's like kind of like a little moody and aggressive, but she's also very shy and soft-spoken and like a little numbed out by all the pain that she's feeling. So I tried to go that direction instead of going into whiny.
Normally, these characters are always portrayed in normal films, meaning not action or hero films, superhero films. They would be the problematic teen, or the teen that has issues, or the teen that is like there's always something related to that. And this film, in a way, which I think the X-Men always do, is that what is called the different and what is the one that is not the normal, they are the heroes, and their struggle is what makes this stronger. And I think you guys really understood that with Josh, with the work that you guys did was really nice to see, is that through the work and through the preparation, understanding these traumas, being character driven, it's what made the film different, meaning you guys from the pain becoming powerful.
This is one of the very first films to open in theaters since the COVID-19 pandemic has begun. I think that's an incredible thing. I think it's important that people go back to the movies. I'm really, really excited that it's going to screen in IMAX, because we really wanted the final act of this, the final battle where these characters have to battle this massive supernatural bear, be seen on the biggest screen possible. It's also, you know, in some ways the first horror superhero movie in a long time, certainly since the current phase of Marvel films and all that. I can think back about Blade and things like that, but this one really involved teens in a way that I thought had a bit of an echo of 90s horror movies and 80s horror movies that I loved when I was young.
People enjoy going to the cinema to be terrified. And
Yeah,
that's a powerful medium. I mean, you know, we like to be terrified in a safe space and kind of have your blood pump and have that, you know, and be sweating and be afraid. And that's really, you know, really powerful that you can go and experience fear in a safe environment. And I think that's why people love horror so much.
and also to see a glimpse of hope. You know, I think some horror movies do it really well, is to show hope in extreme situations, and how we all have to come to terms with the fears that we have naturally as humans, even if it's growing up or if it's a scary situation. I think it tells a lot about the audience more than it does about the movie.
So unlike most superhero films, which a lot of them are shot on giant sound stages, the sets that you see are mostly just sets. They're way bigger than, I mean, I say would be in real life, but who knows what the Avengers headquarters would look like. But you know what I mean? It's like we went and shot in a real place, which made it a very interesting, I think, movie visually when you compare it to other superhero movies. It gave it its own aesthetic and its own